I was in my 40s and I was single. I basically wanted to find somebody before I died, you know. I didn't want to die lonely, so I ran across this person named Margo Mouse, and we started emailing back and forth. And about 10 years ago this weekend, we had our first date, and I knew my life would be changed forever. My name is Mike Durdorf, and I am 54 years old, and I live in Grundy Center with my wife, Margo. She's an occupational therapist at Grundy County Memorial Hospital, and I have two stepsons on the autism spectrum. One is 21, and the other one will be 19 in July, and I'm autistic. I was diagnosed at the age of 4, and I couldn't go to school until I had to learn to talk. And this was back in 1969 when the ratio was 1 in 10,000. Hardly anybody knew what autism was, but I was one of those 10,000. Thankfully, I was able to start talking, and then I was able to go to kindergarten, and I was just integrated, and I graduated on time, and here I am today. I did speech therapy at the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. So naturally, that's Hawkeye country out there. First down. I always have been a fan, and I always will be. Yes! Hawkeye football is probably my favorite. I can't go to football games or that because it's just too overwhelming for me. So just various situations, or if everybody's talking at one time, that kind of gets a little challenging too, and I may not react appropriately. I'm kind of a homebody in that regard. Another thing too is sudden change. That's something I'm not real comfortable with. I'm getting better at handling it, but it's still something I'm not real comfortable with. Getting married was obviously a big achievement. I'm very proud to be married and love my wife a ton.
Something that I think that helps in our relationship is that inherently I also know what's going to stress him out. He likes the routines, and actually it's kind of a calming force in our household because I'm much more spontaneous. He's very steady in his demeanor, and so that really works well with the boys because they know that they can depend upon him. They both know that he would go to the ends of the earth for them.
I would say the successes I've had as a parent is I know what they're going through. Yeah, there's a couple steps here, so be careful. Both young men now are on the spectrum. Got it working?
Yep, it ran about 10 minutes ago, so it should run again.
Okay. It can be a challenge, but it's also very rewarding to see not only our relationship grow, but watching Alex and Drew grow more and more, not only physically, but socially and psychologically in that. It's just amazing to watch them grow up. I've been with Drew over half his life now. I didn't think we would be really that tight when we first started, but boy, we're pretty tight. It's time for the alphabet show, Boosie.
The reason why we can't do this interview actually in our home is because if we were trying to do this at home, it would be intermingled with Drew saying, shh, no talk, no talk, no talk is over. It's done, it's closed. You gonna draw it on your board? That's one of your favorite things to draw. Oh, nice. So with Drew, a lot of things get to be closed if they're not what he wants. What about Cookie Monster singing? He will have tantrums, meltdowns, those types of things. That's not to say that there aren't wonderful celebrations of the things that he can do. Oh, that's a good job singing. But I want to make sure that people understand that his world is markedly different from anybody else's. In my world, and thus Mike's, Alex's, and Grandma's, is totally different than anybody else's. You know, autism isn't just a diagnosis. It's not just this problem. It's not that problem. It really is, it totally overtakes your world. In some ways good, in some ways bad. Alex, who's now 21, he's a little bit higher functioning. So Alex sees this work ethic with Mike. I have a job, I go every day, this is what we do, you know, and it's worked out really well because he's been a really great role model.
I commute to Cedar Falls every day. I work at a place called Talk to Me Technologies, and it's about a 30-mile commute, about 40 minutes to get from home to work.
Talk to Me Technologies is a mid-sized company. What we do is provide speech devices for people with complex communication needs. Mike has been here about a year and a half now. Mike's position is manufacturing associate. His main key job responsibility is to disinfect the devices that we manufacture.
I usually go through maybe between 10 and 15 a day, depending on our workload. I usually have enough work to do all day.
If they come in for a repair or if they come back from a trial or a loan before they can go to the next person. He manufactures different components for our devices and then also general office duties as well. Mike is incredibly detail-oriented. He has a drive to do the best that he can and really helps us serve as many clients as we can just by being so meticulous in what he does. Really, the only accommodation that we have for him is he does have a door on his work area where he spends most of his time because sometimes the environment does get a little loud. So he can choose day to day or hour to hour if he needs to shut that door and have a little more quiet. Mike came to the company with goals set out, trying to help other people with the same diagnosis that he has in the autism community.
Makes me feel really good when I go home at night saying, hey, I helped another person gain their communication, and it makes me feel proud to be here. I am an autism advocate here in the state of Iowa, and I've been doing this since 2013. And my main goal right now is to talk to law enforcement people and safety people. If you hear a child say, child with autism missing, I would check the water every single time. And for businesses, because hiring autistic people, I feel, is a good idea, and not enough autistic people are employed, and there's a lot of talent in our community that hasn't been tapped into. And what I do is I talk to businesses about why hiring a person on the spectrum would be a good fit for their company. I think a common misnomer that people think about autism is they're not very smart, and that is not true. People get that idea because of the way we do things, but we're not worse or better. We just think differently.
Autism is Mike, a great dad, working, has a great job, goes to work every single day. Autism is my brother, who is beyond brilliant. However, with Drew, it's grieving the fact that he couldn't get his driver's license, that he's not going to get married, that he's not going to have kids. That is autism. Autism is anywhere in between. So it really is a spectrum.
If you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, because it's such a varying spectrum. And I kind of compare autism to snowflakes. No two people are exactly alike.
This program is part of the Move to Include initiative, made possible with support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
The Max and Helen Guernsey Charitable Foundation, in support of educational programming on statewide Iowa Public Television.